Yo, what's good everyone? Happy Friday. Hope y'all have had a great week so far and got some good plans here for this weekend. Today I'm going to be breaking down the Nhl Dfs slate for December 9th. We got ourselves a big 10-game slate here tonight where I'm going to go through a couple of my favorite line stacks, some of my favorite individual plays, and some of my favorite value plays, and then we'll wrap up the video talking a little prize picks. With that being said, let's dive into my spreadsheet here. And we're going to kick things off here like we always do in the top left-hand corner with those highest implied game totals, where you can see 4 of these games are coming in with an implied total of 6.5 goals. We got 5 games coming in at 6 goals even, and then this game between the Rangers and Avalanche coming in at 5.5. And then take a look down here at the Vegas odds, where you can see each team who's favored to win tonight. Now folks, I am getting this video out way later than I wanted to. I ended up having to fill in for a work colleague this morning. That set me back quite a bit. So I'm going to go through this video way quicker than I normally do. Still want to break down each of these plays, but I'm going to kind of give you the Spark Notes version of today's video. With that being said, let's dive into a couple of line stacks that I like here for tonight, starting with that first line for the Pittsburgh Penguins. We got Crosby centering Gensel and Raquel. I love the matchup for the Penguins in general here tonight against the Buffalo Sabres, a team that has struggled defensively all year long. They've allowed 4.60 goals per game in just their past 5, and their penalty kill has not been very good either, just hitting at a 65% rate. And this first line for Pittsburgh has been very good, especially over their past 10, having combined for 15 goals, 22 assists, 37 points over that stretch of games, and their power play has started to heat up here a little bit as of late too, scoring at a 26.7% rate over their past 4, and all 3 of these guys here play up on that #1 power play. And then another line stack I like building around here tonight is that first line for the Calgary Flames. We got Lindholm centering Huberdeau and Toffoli. Love the matchup for them against the Columbus Blue Jackets, who we all saw get routed for 9 goals the other day by that Buffalo Sabres team, and this is a team that's given up a league-high 4.16 goals per game all season. And this line here has really started to figure some things out here as of late, having combined for 7 goals, 11 assists, 18 points in their past 5 games, and all 3 of these guys play up on that #1 power play too. Now folks, before we dive into some of my favorite individual plays here, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Alright, now diving into some of these individual plays here, we're going to kick it off with the forwards. I'm actually going to highlight 2 guys together here initially, Timo Meier and Thomas Hertl. Both those guys playing up on the first line in #1 power play for the San Jose Sharks. They have a great matchup tonight as well against the Anaheim Ducks, who've given up 4.15 goals per game this year, the second most in the NHL, with the second worst penalty kill in the NHL too. That's hit at just a 66.3% rate. These guys have been good together. The chemistry is clearly there between these two, and they've played very well against this Anaheim Ducks team already this year. In 2 games, the two have combined for 10 points. Timo Meier has 3 goals, 2 assists, 5 points himself, with 16 shots on net. That has led to him averaging 34.3 DraftKings points per game against the Ducks, and then Hertl's got 1 goal, 4 assists, 5 points himself, averaging around 18 DraftKings points per game. We're going to see both these guys play big minutes together, 5-on-5, and again on that #1 power play, while logging around 19-20 plus minutes here tonight. Now, we know the points that McDavid and Draisaitl can put up on any given night in any given matchup, but Zach Hyman has been reaping the rewards of playing with those 2 guys all year long. All 3 are currently playing up on that first line and #1 power play. Hyman's got 27 points in 26 games and actually leads this Oilers team in expected goals, and they should be able to find the back of the net here a few times tonight against a Minnesota Wild team that has not been very good defensively as of late, allowing 4.25 goals per game over their past 4, with a penalty kill that's hit at just a 69% rate. I then got Pierre-Luc Dubois there of the Winnipeg Jets. Really like the matchup for the Jets in general here tonight as well against the Chicago Blackhawks, who are one of the worst defensive teams in the NHL. Hell, they just got one of the worst rosters in the NHL. But they're in rebuild mode. They're going for that Connor Bedard ticket. I totally get it. Pierre-Luc Dubois has been very good here, especially as of late. 6 goals, 9 assists, 15 points in his past 10 games. And 5 of those 15 points have come on the power play, which has been very good for the Winnipeg Jets too. They've scored at a 37.5% rate in their past 5 games. So we could target that #1 power play in general. You're going to see Pierre-Luc Dubois play on that second line tonight and up on the number 1 power play. Easy to stack him up with someone like Kyle Connor, Josh Morrissey, or again, really anybody on that number 1 power play. I then got David Krejci there of the Boston Bruins, who are also set up in a good matchup tonight against the Arizona Coyotes, who got routed for 8 goals the other night against the Edmonton Oilers and have given up 4.75 goals per game over their past 4, a team that's really just struggled defensively all year long, a penalty kill that's not been very good as of late, just sitting at a 60% rate, and the Boston Bruins are one of the best teams in the NHL, getting exposure to anyone in that top 6, hell, even Taylor Hall on that third line, completely makes sense. I wanted to highlight Krejci here because I do like the price at $4,900. We see him play on that second line with David Pastrnak. He does play down on the second power play, which I don't love. I wish he played up on that number 1 power play, but he's still been getting on the score sheet at a decent rate. 20 points in 22 games this year. He's got 6 goals, 5 assists, 11 points in just his past 10. And then I got Adam Henrique there of the Anaheim Ducks, who's currently playing up on that first line with Trevor Zegras and Troy Terry, while getting time on the number 1 power play. I think we could just game stack this one here between the Sharks and Ducks, two teams that have struggled defensively this year. Henrique's got 8 goals, 6 assists, 14 points in 26 games, and has played well against this Sharks team too, with 3 goals in 2 games, averaging 19.5 DraftKings points per game. Now moving over here to the defensemen, some solid top tier defensemen on this slate. One guy I would be willing to pay up for is John Carlson of the Washington Capitals, who is playing very good hockey right now and getting DraftKings points in a number of different ways. He's got 5 goals, 2 assists, 7 points here in his past 10, where he's averaging around 4 shots on net per game and close to 2.5 block shots per game. That is all translated to 17 DraftKings points per game during that stretch, and he's got a good matchup here at home tonight against the Seattle Kraken, who've started to slip up here a little bit as of late, allowing 4.75 goals per game over their past 4, with a penalty kill that's hit at just a 62.5% rate. I then got Charlie McAvoy there of the Boston Bruins. Talked about how good of a matchup they have on the road tonight against the Arizona Coyotes. I'm primarily stacking McAvoy with some of the forwards who play on that number 1 power play, which has been very good this year. The Bruins power play has scored at a 28.5% rate, 5th best in the NHL, and McAvoy has had 6 of his 13 points so far this year come on that number 1 power play. And that's exactly what I'm doing here with Rasmus Andersson of the Calgary Flames, stacking him up with forwards on that number 1 power play. You can stack him up with Huberdeau, Lindholm, Toffoli, or all 3 of those guys, considering how bad this Blue Jackets team is. Andersson has put up 20 points so far this year, and 9 of those points have come on that number 1 power play. And then my favorite value play here tonight is Matt Benning of the San Jose Sharks. Highlighted him quite a bit here as of late. Still a very good price at $3,500 for a guy who's playing about 20 minutes per night, getting time on that number 2 power play, and getting on the penalty kill as well. He actually has 7 assists here over his past 10 games, and he's averaging around 3 block shots per game, which is translated to 10 DraftKings points per game over his past 10. Not bad at all for a guy priced this low. And then I got a couple of goaltenders there for you tonight, going with 2 Russians in Shesterkin and Sorokin. Honestly, on the other side of this game between the Devils and Islanders, I think Vitek Vanacek of the New Jersey Devils is 100% in play too. I just really like the pricing here on Sorokin. We'll talk about him here in just a minute. Let's talk about Shesty first. He's been a bit up and down this year, especially when it comes to racking up DraftKings points, but he's still got a solid record at 12-4-4 and averaging around 14.5 DraftKings points per game. And I just look at this lineup here for the Colorado Avalanche right now. It's legit pretty much their AHL team considering how many injuries they have. So the New York Rangers should have a lot of puck possession in this game, like we saw the Boston Bruins have the other night. And then Sorokin there at $7,000, really like that price. He doesn't have the best record, just sitting at 10-8-0, but has some really solid numbers outside of that. He's got a goals allowed average at 2.33 and a save percentage of .927 with 14.4 goals save above expected. That's the second best in the NHL, behind Connor Hellebuck. And as always, going to wrap up the spreadsheet here with 3 low-priced options or sub-4K forward plays. First guy I got there is TJ Oshie of the Washington Capitals, who currently plays on that second line in number 1 power play. He's got 5 goals, 6 assists, 11 points through 17 games this year, including 4 power play goals. And this Seattle Kraken penalty kill has not been very good this year, just hitting at a 68.3% rate. Now, if Eichel is out again tonight for the Vegas Golden Knights, we should see Paul Cotter play up on that first line and mix in on the first and second power play. He's got 2 goals in 2 games since Eichel has been out. And then Jack Quinn there of the Buffalo Sabres, currently playing on that second line at number 2 .312 power play, has 5 goals, 5 assists, 10 points here in his past 10 games, while damn near averaging 11 DraftKings points per game. Not bad at all considering his price. And then a quick little outro here on the Prizepicks side of things. For those of you who have been following me, you know the deal. I'm going to go through these individually, let you know my final picks in a comment below on this video, and I'll be sure to pin that comment as well. And don't forget, I am posting those in my Discord channel too, if you want to join that. Link in the description below. But for those of you who have not signed up yet but want to get in on this action, I got a promo code that you should definitely be taking advantage of. When you sign up, use my promo code GRIFF, GRIFF, and Prizepicks will give you all the way up to a $100 match deposit. Again, you don't have to put $100 in. You want to put in 50, they'll match 50. You want to put in 20, they'll match that $20. They will match anything up to $100. Again, as long as you're using my promo code GRIFF, GRIFF, upon signing up. Alright everyone, that is going to wrap up this video here for today. As always, thank y'all for taking the time out of your day to watch the content here on this channel. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Let's have ourselves a great weekend here, folks. Let's win some money on this 10-game slate. In the meantime, I'm out of here.